special, we just never tried. Thrived on being honest, can't say that I never lied. Like I had two faces, like dude in Vanilla Sky. Never two-faced, most say hell of a guy. If they only really knew what's inside. Judgment, jealousy, mixed with hella pride. Back to being honest, that's something that I don't deny. Most my life skywalk like Luke the Jedi. Talk that talk so clearly through red eyes. Still not ready to take off this disguise of perfection. There's things I need to get right. You an angel by my side, that's why I need you by my side.
I know I'm living wrong, the same old dancing song. I need you by my side. The one he said was mine. She a good girl, but my mind ain't where it needs to be. I know she right, but right now ain't the time for me. Wish I had the wisdom that I need so I can see. When the sky opens up and she comes down for me, for me, for me.
What's good, everybody? How you doing? This is Ear to the Grind Radio. I am your host of the most, Delore, a.k.a. Mr. Real Spill, a.k.a. Never See Me in the Same Hat Twice, a.k.a. I'm bringing a.k.a.s back. We got Quincy Jamal in the building.
Yes,
about to get a really dope interview started. We're going to get right into his first joint called Good Days, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
And worries go steady, moving fast. Sometimes gotta move slow. Sit back, light it, take a toke. These them good days, good music, good smoke. Let all the stress and worries go. Steady, moving fast. Sometimes gotta move slow. Sit back, light it, take a toke. These them good days. Staring at the ceiling fan, reminiscing. High as fuck, speaker blasting while I'm out the kitchen. Minimum wage, remember them days. Man, I was fucked up, switched to my ways, and now I'm chillin'. Take another L to the face, dog, we winning. Ain't always been this way, we was drowning, now we swimming. Look, all it takes is patience. Fuck them allegations. Make them niggas that was hating say congratulations. We light up, got a Dutch, grab a rap. Call me Pastor Clever, cause I need it for my cataracts. If it's payday, hit the dealer, gotta grab a sack. If we ain't, got nowhere to go. Smoke them back to back, that's just how it be though. Smoke wherever we go. Patience running thin, ain't the same nigga as before. So I sit back, light a J, dealer hit me right away, and the numbers look right when I wait. These them good days.
Hey man, this that shit you said you got from homeboy, dog.
Shit fire, brother. Shit fire as fuck. These them good days, good music, good smoke. Let all the stress and worries go. Steady, moving fast. Sometimes gotta move slow. Sit back, light it, take a toke. These them good days, good music, good smoke. Let all the stress and worries go. Steady, moving fast. Sometimes gotta move slow. Sit back, light it, take a toke. These them good days. Up, ignite it. Keep them issues private. We might get in some other shit. It's the right fit for the occasion. We blazing like this. What am I tasting? I'm gazing like shit. Nigga, I'm hot as fuck. Ain't no way I'd rather be getting my profits up. Tell me who's stopping us, and I show you a man that's mistaken. Just another barrier that I'm breaking. Gotta show some loyalty for me to just call you bro. Keep an old head in the click, the more you know. When will they understand? I'm not your average Joe. Came a long way, still a long way to go. Still need a day to smoke and chill. We done grown up. Debt collectors all on my line. They blow my phone up. Ain't ruining the day with the stress of a bill. Don't know how we'll get through, but we will. These them good days. Damn, son. I'm gone, bro. Hey, what time is it? Oh, shit, damn. I forgot to hit a bag.
What's good, everybody? How you doing? This your boy Delore. This is Ear to the Grind Radio, where if you ain't grinding, you'll never be shining. But on this siding, it's all glory to God. We got Quincy Jamal. What's good, bro? How you doing,
man?
What's
going on, man? Appreciate you for having me, by the way.
Yeah, no, thank you for being on, man. And we just heard Good Days.
Yeah.
Such a vibe. if you was riding in the car when you was listening to that, I know you kind of went a little slower on that one. Yeah, man, that's a vibe, man. So let's talk about it a little bit, man, since we jumped right into the song.
Yeah.
That's your highest streaming song to date?
Yeah. Actually, just crossed 100,000 streams like last week, man. And on Spotify, I still got probably 25, 30,000 on Apple Music and other platforms and stuff like that. But Spotify just cracked 100,000.
Hey, congratulations, man.
Thank you, bro.
Can we get the hand clap? Do we have the applause? There we go. Yeah. That's it. All right, that's OD. That's a great accomplishment, man. That's a great milestone for an independent artist. I probably got 15,000 Ks with all my joints together, so 100,000.
Yeah, man.
Looking good, man. But we had spoke before, and you told me that you had sat on that song for 3 years.
Yeah, man. You actually had Lester up here a little while back.
Shout out to Lester
Sanchez, man. It's my boy. We was working on Wentworth back in 2018, 2019.
Classic album, by the way.
Yeah, and during that time, we was also just kind of recording our own little solo joints, and that was one of the ones that I just recorded, and it just got away, bro. I didn't even know, I forgot about it, And probably about 8 or 9 months ago, when I finally was ready to get back into, making music again, I just was going through all my hard drives and just figuring out what do I have, what unfinished things, just trying to organize everything. I just had a bunch of everything, and I literally found that file, just the mastered song, didn't have no project file, even to this day I had to make my own performance version of that song because of how big it's going,
Yeah.
And I just found that little MP3 file, man. It was let me just put this out, you know what I'm saying? Because I always enjoyed the song, but it just got away from me, And
that's dope.
Yeah, it's my biggest song right now. It's crazy.
It's crazy how things work out like that, man.
Yeah.
I've talked to my boy Sonny Talent, was on the show a while back. I don't know if you know Sonny. And he was like, yeah, I had made this song. The same thing. I got a new computer. I forgot about it. I went back through the old computer, found this song, and it became a hit. It was the same thing, man. I feel you know what I'm saying? I won't get preachy with you today, man. But I feel God's timing is crazy, bro. Sometimes things just meant to be on a different time scale than our own,
Facts.
But that's really dope, man. So in my mind, when you first told me that you had sat on it for 3 years, I didn't know if you was going through a rough patch, and then it was good days finally came, and then you decided to put the song out. That wasn't the case?
It wasn't the case intentionally. However, around the time that I found it, it was a time in my life where things were finally starting to kind of, get a little better, you know what I mean? And
nice.
I know we'll touch on a lot of the things that have happened in those few years, but it was a tough time for me. That when I finally was ready to start making music again, to stumble on that song, it kind of was just one of those divine intervention kind of moments where it was it makes sense, you know what I'm saying? That's my vibe now, you know what I mean? That's the vibe I'm on now. Even though I made it 3 years ago, that's literally the vibe I'm on now.
That's dope,
you
man.
know?
That's dope, and I really love your laid back style, man.
Appreciate that.
With a lot of New York MCs or with the drill music, the music has definitely gotten more aggressive lately. And even when 6ix9ine started shouting, rapping, and it's all in your face and mad aggressive. It was very refreshing to go through the pack you sent me, and just have a laid back vibe playing on my joints, man. You know what I mean? So
sure.
I really like your approach to music and that laid back vibe for sure, man.
Appreciate that.
So what are good days to you nowadays? What in your mind constitutes of a good day in the life of Quincy Jamal?
Man, honestly, I feel now I'm so on this journey of peace, you know what I mean, that I could say 5 years ago a good day would be, out on the town, you know what I'm saying, having a good time, waking up the next night not remembering half the night, you know what I'm saying, or next morning not remember half the night. But now, man, I'm really on that journey to peace, and doing the things that make me internally happy, you know what I'm saying, not happy where I'm smiling and I'm laughing and I look happy, truthfully happy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, for sure.
As we get older as men, we start to realize that life is what we make it, and those things are up to us, man. And it's dope, man. Like I was the same way. Get a new pair of shoes, new fit, some new jewelry. I'm happy, you know. But what happens? You go out and have a late night, and I might wake up the next morning and a rock fell out my ring,
Yo, facts.
and then I can't wear that ring no more.
Facts.
You know, so that type of stuff is just momentary, man. But like a family, a good woman, your career's doing good. Those type of things really bring the real happiness. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, that's really dope, man. And you're originally from New Orleans.
Yeah, so I kind of
Do you say New Orleans?
So I was born in New Orleans. I spent a lot of my adolescence in Doraville, which is right outside of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And I can honestly say, even though, you know, if I talk to most people, you know, they gonna know me from New Orleans, I can truthfully say, like, I was raised in Orlando. You know,
Yeah.
so I was here since I was like 11, 12 years old. I got all of my prime teenage years here in Orlando. So Orlando is kind of what made me who I am today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm the same way, man. I'm from all over the place. I've lived all over the place, but spent the most time and definitely came into my own and became a man in Orlando, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for me, when I first moved to Orlando, it was called Warlando.
Yeah,
We had the
yeah.
highest murder rate in the country.
And
And
quietly too. Like,
Yeah.
quietly. Like, people really
Yeah.
didn't understand like how it was out here.
Yeah, and I got thrown to the wolves, man. You know, I was street smart and stuff, but when you're in a new place, you don't know the areas. Certain
Facts,
things can
facts.
happen. I said it before on the show. My first time in this new building, we had to come through this Orange Center community right here, and I actually got robbed pretty hard body in Orange Center back in the day. But it was dope to drive through there and how I am nowadays and be like, I've come a long way.
Yo,
Come a long way from
Tell
getting
you.
robbed for some trees in Orange Center. But-
it's like still to this day, man. I drive like certain areas where I remember how bad it was, and you know, people live there now and they would never know. I got a line
you
brother.
only knew.
Yo, if you only knew, man. I got a line brother that lives like right outside of Wentworth, and I was trying to explain to him like how Wentworth was. And he just
Wentworth
could
was the
not-
jungle back
he
in the
could
day,
not
man.
wrap his head around it, bro. Like I
Yeah.
still to this day, me and Lester will tell stories, and my fiance will be looking at us like, "Are y'all like making this up?" Like, nah, bro, this happened.
Nah.
Like, you know what I mean? This was real deal.
Yeah, I remember somebody tried Torres's girl, man, one time, and the whole building came out. I felt like I was in New York. The whole building came out, and the sun jumped back in and took off. It was like, but that was Wentworth back in the day, man.
No facts.
That's dope. So, when did you moved from New Orleans to Atlanta to Orlando?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, when
Yeah.
did you live in Atlanta?
So I lived in Atlanta,
Like what years?
basically from like 3, 4 till I was about 11.
But like what year was that?
Oh, a
like,
year? Like what, 94, 95 till
Oh,
about
okay.
2000, 2001.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, man. And you know, like what brought me from New Orleans to Atlanta was basically the murder of my father. My father was a upcoming rapper as well. Actually, he had just got signed. And you know, not to get too deep into it, but basically
We was gonna get into that.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, you know, the story is that, you know, once he got signed, his ex-girlfriend, or I don't know the real situation because he's not here to really tell it, you know.
Yeah, right.
But basically, the person that he was previously dealing with prior to my mom set him up. Called him to the club to pick her up, and you know, he got kind of killed at the club.
Ouch.
And so that whole situation, that was like a crazy dynamic. Obviously, I was too young to know, but it was a crazy dynamic for my family on my mom's side and my dad's side. So, you know, when my mom moved to Atlanta, that's kind of was like the fresh start for her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Exodus.
Yeah.
Which makes perfect sense, man. Sometimes you got to do that type of thing, man. I was specifically asking the years you lived in Atlanta because I was wondering if you had snatched any inspirations that were coming out of the ATL at that time.
I'm gonna be honest,
Because
man. Like,
say 94 to 2000,
yeah.
that was kind of before ATL blew up in its own, but that was right at the time Outkast was coming out and making real noise for the South and Atlanta in general.
I feel like my time in Atlanta was very I wasn't necessarily sheltered from music. It was just more so like I heard, like, cause my stepfather, he did play a lot of music. But outside of that, I didn't really hear much. So like, you know, he would be blasting 3 6 Mafia, Prince, You know, Michael Jackson. You know, so different styles of music that, you know, I always just had an ear for music. Even when, anytime I was in my mom's car, bro, I just naturally went to the bass treble fader settings to get the sound right in the car. You know what I mean? Even as a kid, you know what I mean? Dope. So I've always had that ear for music. And I didn't actually start creating music until I was in Orlando. I think I was like 12 or 13 is when I wrote like my first little joint. Okay. And at the time, I remember I had like, you know, MP3 players back in the day. They used to have the little mic, little dot that you can kind of talk into to record files. So I'll play like a beat outside on the TV and have it like playing loud enough that I can just kind of go one take all the way through. And you know, that was kind of like my first taste of like actually trying to record. You know what I mean? And then, you know, slowly but surely I worked my way to I think I had a laptop with a little headset like this, probably with like a little mic. Started doing that, and slowly but surely, you know, Sony Acid Pro I think I used back then, and just kind of, you know, grew it from there, man.
Yeah, that's really dope that you said that, because it segues into my next question. Do you remember any early rhymes or bars where you might have been like, "Whoa, this is heat," or somebody else was gassing you up on a bar or rhyme from back in the day?
Man, that's kind of
tough. One of my favorite questions. Yeah, I know it was a long time ago, but that's one of my favorite questions.
As far as like a dope bar, I can't think of it right now, but I can remember my first bar. Okay. And like my first bar was like, basically I have a little cousin, Jay. He was like 7 at the time, and anybody that knows Jay or knew me and Jay back then, Jay was like the little rider in the crew. You know what I'm saying? Like as we grew up and got older and got more wild, he was always 4 or 5 years younger than us, but keeping up with us. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, going back to the point, you know, my first line that I ever wrote, I went by, my artist name was N.O.B., New Orleans boy, N.O.B.
Nice.
And
that was big back then.
Yeah, and then my cousin, he went by Principal. And so I remember like I was writing like a little hook, and I mean, mind you, I'm like 11 or 12. So
right.
And I was like,
we won't hold it against you.
Yeah, right. And I remember I wrote the hook, and it was like, it's Principal and N.O.B., and we keep the death trap right above our knee. And it was like, bro, you know, you trying to be hood at 11, but it's not gonna slide, dog.
But back then that was probably the hardest thing.
Bro, we thought we was going, bro, we was getting out of there. You hear me?
We on our way.
We on our way, bro.
Do you remember what some of the first songs were about? Probably the same old stuff.
My first songs was real, just, you know what I'm saying, street stuff, trying to be street, you know what I mean? Like at that age, I feel like, you know, you only doing what you see, and I feel like at that time it was very 50 Cent, you know what I'm saying, Lil Wayne, you know what I'm saying, at that time they were really hot, and you know that's what they're talking about, so you're gonna imitate, you know what I'm saying, what you like. Yeah,
of course, man. I think everybody started out. I was real political when I started out, which was weird. Like, I was a big Dead Prez fan.
Okay.
Because Stickman was from Tallahassee, which is where I'm originally from, and M1 was from Brooklyn, which I got Brooklyn roots too. So for me, Dead Prez was dope because it was like Tallahassee and Brooklyn, which was just so.
That's a nice
rare,
that's a nice combination.
And hip hop, and they were mad political, and so like my first choice were like, I think the first song I wrote was called like Wingspan, and it was like, you don't understand, it's either you or the government, doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican, because it takes the right and left wings to make the Eagles wingspan. You feel me?
How old were you with that?
Oh, 13.
Gee, hey man, you was ahead of your time, boy.
Yeah, but then you know, then it got into smoking trees, chasing girls. The politicals didn't last very long. But that's what's up, man. So why don't you explain the next song we're about to play called Up before we get into it?
Up, man. All right, so Up, man, I really enjoyed making this song because even when I, like the way I create, man, I can write freely, but I love having a beat to put me in a certain mood. Of course, that's kind of how I like to build I like how I structure and build the song. And so when I heard the beat, man, it kind of just made me feel like, you know what I'm saying, like I was almost like, and I have another song called Elevate, but it almost made me feel like I was like, you know, levitating. And so when I was writing the lyrics, I just kind of saw it as like a double entendre, you know what I mean? Like,
we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? So like Up, man, it just was a dope way to kind of explain that feeling, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, this is Ear to the Grind Radio. We got Quincy Jamal. We heard Good Days. It was a vibe. Up is a vibe too. This is Up from Quincy Jamal. We'll be right back.
Travel by paper planes. I'm gifted, but getting lifted just take me right to my lane. Man, we don't smoke the same. Copping by the OZ. They don't know themselves, but they acting like they know me. Homie said my life could be a book. I thought about it, that's probably why I'm so misunderstood. They don't know my story, but if you listen, I'm the definition glory. Man, I'm just different, so I roll up. Tryna get my pockets and my dough up. Kept chasing my dreams when I woke up. Niggas talk, but so what? Staring in the review, but I'm focused. Most talk of the people be the slowest. I'm just tryna go up. Double entendre, I mean it both ways. Different tax brackets and now I smoke papers. Nigga, I really ain't asked for no favors. Yeah, when I roll up, blowing them trees. Shit get stressful tryna wrestle, but that's all that I need. I said when I roll up, blowing them trees. Shit get stressful tryna wrestle, but that's all that I need. I said when I roll up, every time I gotta play, no delay. Pay attention to the words that I say. I said when I roll up, I be all about my business. So get with it, or you welcome to stay. But see, I'm finna go up. Came from next time, can't afford it. Made it out the trap, I had to push. Been through so much shit, had to record it. Now they think I'm coming from a fortune. Had so many friends turn to enemies. Really used to weigh on me mentally. Now I turn production into symphonies. Even when I'm gone, they remember me. Tables turn, please don't try to come to me with sympathy. Try to bring you on, I'm just being what I'm meant to be. Medicated, in my zone when I'm steady faded. Who would've known I find peace when I separated? But I got a little ride I call Mary Jane. Keep me in line when they try to go against the grain. Try to get back, but it's bad for my health. If I try to leave right, they just wanna go left. They some hard heads. I was trying to keep it going, but the ball dead. Mental telling me to finish what you started. We all have regrets, but learn from life, Lamar said. Go ahead and spark it. That's the type of shit to make you light up. Make the paper turn to vapor, just some trees and fire. It's crazy how the thoughts be flowing when I'm feeling stoned. A couple J's, a glass of Ray, put me in my zone. I said, when I roll up, blowing them trees. Shit get stressful trying to wrestle, but that's all that I need. I said, when I roll up, blowing them trees. Shit get stressful trying to wrestle, but that's all that I need. I said, when I roll up, every time I gotta play, no delay. Pay attention to the words that I say. I said, when I roll up, I be all about my business. So get with it, or you welcome to stay. But see, I'm finna go up.
I'm listening to it, I'm vibing. I'm like, man, this year remind me of the songs Quincy been playing.
Yeah, it's good. I've been in the fucking party.
I like the two songs that you played for us, that you were saying. That you played for me that one time I came over here, you was like, this is me, this is it, like no studio, this was all raw, and we gonna remaster it. Them two that you played for me then, I was like, oh yeah, them time.
This is Air to the Grind Radio. If you ain't grinding, you'll never be shining. And if you ain't shining, you'll never be on this show rhyming. But on this side, it's all glory to God. We just heard Up from Quincy Jamal. Another vibe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I really like that joint, man. I love the double entendre of roll up.
Yeah, man.
When I roll up, this and that. It took me this till like the second time I listened to it where I was like, okay.
You see where,
I see where you're going with that. But I love double entendres, man. Especially thought out lyrics that aren't just surface, they're deeper. So like give somebody something to think about. I think Up is definitely one of those joints for you where, you know what I'm saying, it's more than what it's just on the surface.
Yeah, it's like it was a super like creative way to express it, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's literally my personality, man. Like I'm a grinder, you know what I'm saying? And I try to
That's why you on this show.
You know what I'm saying? Like I try to get where I'm going, but then I enjoy, going up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I enjoy partaking.
Trust me, man. I miss it, man. I miss it. I actually quit in Jamaica, which is rare. But now I was having some health issues and kind of felt like God was telling me to lay back on it. I started going into ministry shortly after that. So be kind of hard to be out here telling people about God and
Yeah.
being a pothead, but to each his own, man. And I'm not gonna lie, I still like the smell of it, man. I still like the smell of it. But now, so I feel like I read somewhere that J. Cole is one of your favorite artists, inspirations.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I definitely hear him on the song
Yeah.
through you, but
That'd be
not like hear him. Like you don't sound like him,
Right.
But like the
The
substance,
influence,
the
yeah.
double entendre, the type of song. When I heard Up, I was like, now it makes perfect sense. I definitely hear J. Cole inspiration
For sure, man.
on
Appreciate
Up,
it.
man. Have you rocked with him since Who That? Who That?
Yeah, actually, that's like literally. I think that was probably one of the first songs I heard. That Friday
Before the
night.
dreads.
No, it wasn't Friday Night Lights. It was the warm up. It
Yep.
was like the first thing I heard from him, and I feel like I've been kind of hooked since, man.
Yeah, he's definitely one of a kind.
Yeah, man. And one of the things I like about him is that it's like even as he's grown as an artist, like his substance never really shifted. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he has the commercial stuff, but the substance that he comes with never shifted. And I think
And he didn't
that's-
change either.
Exactly. And that to me is so important because I've always had like this internal battle with trying to figure out how to have substance and how to be commercial. Because
Yeah.
commercial is going to bring you success, but substance is going to speak from my heart.
Yeah.
And I've always tried to like find a balance, and I feel like as of this last run that I've been on with music, I've let that go. I've been very free with just creating how I want to create, and that's what's worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you never know what's gonna take off.
Exactly.
Like with Good Days, you didn't know that was gonna take off that way. But I think a perfect example was Biggie. You know, when you hear the story of Biggie, and Diddy was like, "Yo, you could have that street stuff for side B, but if we don't get something on the radio, ain't nobody gonna hear the side
exactly.
B." And then he came up with Juicy, which was a commercial hit, a radio hit, but still had ill substance, bro.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's a great role model to go off of with what we're talking about. But also when I hear songs like Up and some of your other joints too, I hear a lot of Andre 3000.
Oh, I really, and Andre 3000 definitely in my top, if not top 5, definitely top 10.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's my top 2 for me is
I love
Nas,
it.
Nas and then 3 Stacks.
Yeah, bro. He's hit the way he tells stories, bro. That I think is very big for me. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of like my style of writing is very storytelling. And
One
he
of the
just
best
does it. Yeah,
storytellers.
he just does it so well, man.
Almost every song is kind of like a story in a sense.
Literally, it's like the way he captures the vibe and walks you through something. It's out of this world, man.
The art of storytelling is one of my favorite joints. You know, I'm
Literally.
talking about Sasha Thumper, that whole thing, man. Found in the back of the school with a needle in the arm, baby, 2 months due. Sasha Thumper, like that whole joint was just crazy. But I hear it in your approach and your lyrics and like the storytelling aspect, but also kind of your voice. You know, not to take nothing away from you, and you would definitely have an original sound. But I feel like I could hear J. Cole's substance, but I could hear 3 Stacks' voice on Up, man, when I first listened to that.
That's dope.
And
That's
so,
dope. Nah, I appreciate that. Actually, that's a compliment.
Yeah. I like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it speaks to your realism, man, because you could tell some artists that, and they're like, "Oh no, ain't nobody like me." And it's like, I'm not saying it in a negative way.
Yeah.
People
Be like-
always used to call me DMX,
Yeah.
like the white DMX, because I used to rap real aggressive with that growl, that raspiness, and I was always like, "Bet."
Yeah, it's a compliment. People
Bet.
be like, no, that sound like me. Like,
Yeah,
alright,
if that's what
know.
you're hearing, hey, I'll take DMX.
Right,
man. Like,
facts.
yo, okay, you know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
yeah, that's definitely a compliment for sure.
But let me throw a curveball at you.
What's up?
Do you think? I'm not gonna say could you still, because that's kind of silly. But do you think it would change the way you make music and even the way you think about music if you didn't smoke?
Probably a little bit, but
I
not
told you
really.
it was a curveball.
No, it is a little. I mean, a little bit, but not really. I think that just from the amount of time that I've done that and how much it's changed me as a person, as far as just being way more patient and calm and relaxed.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you can hear that in my music.
Laid back.
You know what I mean? Very laid back. But do I think it would change or make it harder for me to make music? Nah, because truthfully, there's a lot of songs that I write super sober. You know what I mean?
Nice.
There's a lot of songs that I write sober, but then I'll go record it and get in my vibe and record it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wrote it sober.
That's
know?
the difference.
So it's not like I need it. It's just it keeps me
Yeah,
level.
yeah. No, I just ask because like I know a lot of artists, especially a lot of rappers, And it's like, boy, you take that away, you might not know who this person is.
Facts,
man, you know. And I speak from experience. When I first quit, because I had been rapping for like 10, 15 years before I quit smoking. And it was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this again. Especially freestyle, because I was too in my head. It was hard just to let it out. But then, you know, over time, it was like, no, I don't know about freestyle. And my freestyle has never been the same. That's facts. But as far as writing music and making music, it at first was weird, you know, but then I got over that and it wasn't no big deal. But like road trips will never be the same. I was like, how far is it? Can we fly? Like, it'll be like a 30-minute flight and twice as expensive. Like, I don't care. I can't be in a car for that long without Tree. Like, that's just me being completely honest and transparent, bro. Road trips will never be the same. You know what? You just gave me an idea for a song. That would make a great song, bro. Road trips will never be the same featuring Quincy Jamal. I think we need to make that happen.
I think that would be a vibe, low-key.
That would be a vibe, bro. Nah, man, but it's all about the journey. You know what I'm saying? It's less about what you do while you create and more about what you're going through while you're creating these songs. And to me, like, quitting being a rapper and pursuing as an artist has been tough, man, because it's something I really love doing. But it's dope to go back and watch the videos. It's dope to go back and revisit some of my early joints and albums, because it was like, it brings me back to where I was at that time and place.
Facts.
I think that's the beautiful thing about music, man. It was just like,
it's a timestamp, man.
Yeah,
it's a timestamp. It's crazy because, like, you know, I was having a conversation this morning actually with my fiance. Very deep conversation, you know what I'm saying? And just was expressing something, and I went to go, you know, shower, start getting ready to come out here, and I started listening to stuff off my first project, To Whom It May Concern, and listening to that, catching that timestamp, because one of the things that we were talking about was just like, you know, feeling stagnant, but then going back and listening to the music, then it's like, bro, I've come so far.
So far.
You know what
I was so trash when I first started.
And not even just from that standpoint, just from like in a life standpoint, like, you know what I mean? Like, just feeling like, you know, where I'm at right now is stagnant, but then it's like, bro, you know, I dang near didn't have a place to stay when I was writing that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a different perspective when I can go back and capture that moment in time and remember how I felt, and then check back into real life and be like, all right, man, I'm all right.
That's the beauty of it, man. I got a joint on my first album about an overdose experience, and every time I listen to that, I'm like, because like I hate the song, honestly. It's a dope song, but like, I was crying while I was recording it because it was so, I just couldn't get it out. And I'll tell you a funny story real quick. I was in Sight Studios, the old studio, and they had like, you know, regular artists, like some gangster dudes smoking and recording in all the other rooms. And I was like, yo, I'm in here crying, son. I'm like, yo, like, and so I was like, I need a minute. And I went outside and I came back. I'm like, yo, delete all that. And the engineer was like, nah. It's like, that's what hip hop needs, man. Facts. That pain, you know, like we're keeping that. So I said all that to say this, like, it's hard for me to revisit that song, but it's dope now to be like, after 10 years of sobriety, to be like, man, whew, come a long way. Or even like I told you when I came here for the first time and went through that neighborhood I got robbed in, like, that's the dope part about a musical journey is instead of just memories, because like nobody does a journal anymore or anything, this is like our journal as rappers, as musicians. Facts. Is our music.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And so it's all about the journey, man. And you gotta just stay true to yourself, man. I noticed you had said one time that your music isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, but I always say, who knows what people like and what they don't like? So many artists try to cater and make their music a certain way because they think it's what people want to hear. But it's like, there's somebody out there for everybody.
Exactly, bro. And I think that's what I've been learning a lot recently over the last year, I would say. And like I said, going back to what I said earlier, where, you know, it's really shifted my mindset of trying to be this specific artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be substance, I want to be commercial, and I want to combine it and make it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, bro, I want to be me. You know what I mean? And whoever follows, whoever doesn't.
Facts.
And that's been working. You know what I'm saying?
So freeing,
like,
too,
it's
man.
Free. It's very
so
free.
freeing, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's how it's gotta be, man. But I definitely hear originality in your music, man. I definitely hear it doesn't sound like anybody else. It doesn't sound like what's mainstream right now, but I could definitely hear a mainstream aspect in it, especially certain joints, you know what I'm saying? So keep doing what you're doing, man.
Sure.
Don't let people get in your head. Don't get in your own head.
Yeah.
That's the
big
crazy
one.
part.
That's the big one
That's
right
the,
there.
That's the big one.
That's the big one.
Bruh, if I didn't overthink, I would save myself so much stress and problems. But it's easier said than done. But
Facts.
But you got to just keep doing what you're doing, man. What are some of your earliest influences? Like, who did you hear before you really became an artist? Maybe not before you started rapping, but before you really took being an artist serious, that we were like, man, it just made you want to go in and make a song?
Man, Lil
Who
Wayne.
were some of those early
Lil
influences?
Wayne, man. I used to
Lil Wayne?
I used to have an iPod
Nice.
with like, and this was obviously way before iPhone, you know what I mean? But I had like an iPod with like probably 150, 170 Lil Wayne songs. And I would put it on shuffle, and I probably listened to Lil Wayne about 85% of the day, like all day. You know what I mean? And
He was so unique.
He
man.
was just so different,
So
unique,
different.
and he was dropping so much music that it was like every day you had something new, but then you still had so much of the old stuff that you like. And he was, you know what I'm saying? He was doing his thing back then, man. And for
Yeah,
me, that was
so
a
much.
huge influence just from a standpoint of like, just the way he delivered and the writing style. And I feel like I got away from that writing style because he was very punchline oriented.
Yeah.
And excuse me, and you know, like I said, I'm naturally a storyteller. So, you know, I can throw punchlines or double entendres and stuff like that in there, but truthfully, when I'm writing, I want you to hear the deeper meaning or the story that I'm getting at with those lyrics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, Lil Wayne, man, he was definitely a huge influence back then.
That's fire, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard Millionaire's Dream? That was
Yeah.
his first ever joint.
Yeah,
He
man.
was like 12,
Yeah, bro.
100
And
on
I
my
really
neck,
enjoyed,
20 on my
yo,
wrist, $1 million, $100 kiss, pull up in the Lexus. I still remember to this
Oh,
day,
that's
bro.
wild, bro.
I used to run that joint back and back. The beat, the way he wrote it, it was just perfect for him.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he was so young, I think I might be a little bit older than him, but it still felt. I'm an old head. Don't let the baby face fool you, son. We won't go there, but he was. It felt like we were around the same age.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And so it was really dope when I first heard Millionaire Dream. And then the funny part was he didn't take off on a solo career
Yeah.
until
Hot
later
Boys
on.
and
He
stuff.
actually like saved Cash Money. It was almost like he
Facts.
had to.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
did
He was
say
just the
Cash
Hot
Money.
Boys forever.
Because I
But
think
he-
right after BG, things kind of got a little, you know, with the Hot Boys, it got tough. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And Free BG's finally home.
Finally home. Yep.
I was telling my boy, because me and my boy used to be huge Cash Money fans. I would see him at school and just go wah, right? And so he calls me, and that's the first thing he said. And I'm like, all right, we haven't done that in like 20 years. He's like, BG's home. I'm like, what? 'Cause,
Yeah, bro.
bro, this shows you how ghetto and how old I am. I had my own phone line because my peoples was tired of little girls calling the crib for me. So they got me my own phone line, and I had the old school answer machine where you would record your own messages.
Yeah.
And it was BG in the background. Dun, 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 dun. You know, and then I was
Yeah.
like, yo, this is John. Leave it. And then back to BG. It was like, bruh, like looking back at that, like, man, I was too hood for my own good, bro. Like, wow, that was a little OD. But nah, man, Lil Wayne as an early inspiration is really dope. Did him being from New Orleans have anything to do with that too, or just happened to be like that?
Subconsciously, yeah. You know, it was like I already enjoyed him as an artist, but him being from New Orleans definitely made it more like, you know what I'm saying? You know, he from New Orleans, bro. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And he was taking over too. So, you know, it was just like it was a dope thing, you know what I mean?
No, that's exactly how I felt about Dead Prez, bro. One being from Tallahassee and one being from Brooklyn. For me, it didn't get any better than that. I was like, wow, it's best of both worlds. Because I always felt so different being from the North and the Deep South. And I always had both. One of my parents is mad Italian from New Jersey. My mom's is mad Southern from South Florida. And so I always had like this ill mix of North and South in my life. And so when Dead Prez came out, to me, it was like the same kind of thing. Like, I just felt that like hometown ownership where it was like, yo, it's so dope to me because it was like, yo, they from where I'm from.
Facts.
And they probably can relate to me more than anybody else because the fact they linked up and made such a dope group. You know, it was really dope, man. But we're about to get into your next joint. My favorite song from you. This joint has been on repeat. It gets cranked every time. Turn the bass up a little bit just for this joint. We're about to hear Crash Course. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Crash Course before we play it?
Yeah, man. Crash Course. Actually, shout out to OK Peter, man. He's a producer that found me just through this run I've been on. I guess he stumbled on one of the songs and he reached out. He's been sending me packs, like a lot of packs, man. We're gonna have a lot more joints coming out for sure, for sure.
Stay tuned.
Actually, 2 of the joints we're playing today he produced, but he sent me this one and I heard it and it just took me to a different place because I don't think I even have a similar song like Crash Course.
It definitely sounds different than the pack you sent me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It stands out. But you know, we hit it off as far as just that chemistry. You know, what he was producing was kind of ringing my ear, and that's what kind of came about. And right now, I'm actually really pushing it, just from a standpoint of like trying to get it placed in like action movies, you know, Fast and Furious, you know, because it has that feel. You know what I mean? Like just like playing that in the background with an action movie, it definitely would fit for sure.
And that's the wave these days that a lot of artists don't understand or not on. My fault. Before we play the song, I gotta say this. I've been telling all my young boys, there's a website where you can submit your music for commercials, TV, and radio shows. Mm-hmm. And these days, who cares? As an independent artist, get your bag, bro. Get your bag. There's an artist from Orlando that got his song got on like a My Little Pony movie or something, and everybody was breaking his ball. He made like $1 million off of that.
Get your bag,
bruh.
Get your bag.
So I feel like you said it. Mm-hmm. I'm confirming that. I feel like if you don't know the website, I'm gonna find it for you and I'll send it to you.
All right, bet.
Where you can submit to that. But I definitely can hear a Crash Course on Fast and Furious 27.
You know what I mean?
This is Ear to the Grind Radio. If you ain't grinding, you'll never be shining. And if you ain't shining, you won't be on this show rhyming. But on this side, it's all glory to God. We got Quincy Jamal. I am your host of the most, Delore. We about to hear Crash Course. We'll be right back.
Yeah. It's like I keep hitting these roadblocks. I've been rolling on the crash course, steady focused on a mission like a task force. Throwing dirt up on my name, yeah, that's a bad source. They ain't let me in, I came in through the back door. They asked for it. I've been rolling on the crash course, steady focused on a mission like a task force. Throwing dirt up on my name, yeah, that's a bad source. They ain't let me in, I came in through the back door. They asked for it. Yeah. From 0 straight to 100, no time to be in my lane. Slow, been trying to make my way out since T.I. was screaming bankroll. Mafia, went back to school and I got my masters. That still ain't impressed these crackers, it got me feeling like Django. Chain flow, still ain't let that distract from the vision. Got focused back on my target, I'm hitting it with precision. Just listen what type of time they on. Yeah. When people show their intentions, they either right or wrong. True. I tend to go with my gut, can feel it over my body. That feeling hardly is wrong. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I might be late to the party, but coming back for what's sold. Just had to take the long way, I hit some blocks from the road. I've been rolling on a crash course, steady focused on a mission like a task force. Throwing dirt up on my name, yeah, that's a bad source. They ain't let me in, I came in through the back door. They asked for it. I've been rolling on a crash course, steady focused on a mission like a task force. Throwing dirt up on my name, yeah, that's a bad source. They ain't let me in, I came in through the back door. They asked for it. Look, what were the odds? So optimistic, too many niggas improv. Ain't tryna be a statistic. Spent all my life on the east, I'm tryna cross the Pacific. Told them I'm tryna see Greece, they told me be realistic. See, that's the difference why all of my niggas dreamers. Making all of these songs for these people that never seen us. Yeah, getting comments from people out in Brazil. The love has been getting real, they feel me in Argentina. Long way from out the bleachers, I'm starting to build a name. Been watching and taking notes and I'm finally in the game. Look where I'm from and what I became. Still grinding, but I'll stay in my lane. Yeah. I've been rolling on a crash course, steady focused on a mission like a task force. Throwing dirt up on my name, yeah, that's a bad source. They ain't let me in, I came in through the back door. They asked for it. I've been rolling on a crash course, steady focused on a mission like a task force. Throwing dirt up on my name, yeah, that's a bad source. They ain't let me in, I came in through the back door. They asked for it.
What's good? How you doing? I am your host of the most, Delore. This is Ear to the Grind Radio. We got Quincy Jamal.
Yes.
We just heard my favorite song from Quincy Jamal, Crash Course. Hopefully now it's your favorite song. You could go find that anywhere. Just search Quincy Jamal, Jamal. Don't put 2 A's in it like I wanted to at first for some reason. And then Crash Course, self-explanatory. bump these joints you're hearing today, man, because you're gonna get really dope music on the show. But stay tuned, because after this next joint, we're gonna play all the music after that is unreleased. You're gonna hear it here first, so don't record it now. Don't record it off the radio. We just wait for that.
Right.
But show this man some love and support, and go out and stream these joints. It's like 99 cents to buy it too. Like, come on, son, you don't got $1. You give McDonald's $100 a week. You can't give my mans in them $1.
You know what I'm saying? Support indie music, man.
Support. Hey, here at Indie Jams, we all about the independent underground artists and an ear to the grind. If you ain't grinding, you'll never be shining, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But I love that joint, man. So we're gonna switch gears a little bit, get a little bit deeper, because in Crash Course talk about roadblocks, and so. From hearing what I've heard about your story, it sounds like you've had a lot of setbacks and roadblocks in life, man.
Oh yeah.
And so your pops got bodied when you was 1, and then your mother passed away as well too.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Rest in peace, man. My condolences and definitely heartfelt to you for that, man.
Appreciate it.
But I know that shaped you though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know that shaped you, man. And you're the oldest child?
Yes, I am.
And so you eventually had to become like the patriarch of the family.
Yeah, at a very early age, man. I mean, before my 30s, I guess, patriarch of the family, handling a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Which obviously, and I'm sure we tapping into it, but balancing work, school, music, fiance, family, you know what I mean? It's like there's only 24 hours in a day, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you got to get some sleep too, So
yeah.
It's tough, but like you said, it definitely shaped me to be more resilient, and more what's the word I'm looking for? Just, I guess you could say, man, things don't really crack me like they used to, you know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
Yeah, so I mean, don't get me wrong, bro, everybody's human, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know it was hard.
I mean, it's definitely not
I know it was
easy,
hard.
but
yeah.
It definitely has prepared me, for a much harder road, which I'm sure will come, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, for sure. And like, what don't break a man, make a man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it how it's normally been said, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But do you have little brothers?
So I don't have a blood brother. My sister, she had a twin. He passed when he was a baby though. But I do have I have 2 stepbrothers that are both older actually. But yeah, only as far as like biological, I have my sister.
Got you. What's some advice you've given to your little sister that you wish somebody had given you?
Man, really just to focus on herself, man. And that's like recent advice, you know what I'm saying? Like that's, she's, dealing with things that she's dealing with. And, for me, it's like, you got to kind of lock in and help yourself before you can help others.
Got to. So important, man.
You can't bring people on the boat when you got cracks in your boat. Everybody going down.
Everybody going down.
So that's one of the things that's like really been pertinent to her, which I'm proud of her, man. She just moved out to the Georgia area, and she's doing what she got to do out there. So I'm super proud of her right now.
What's her name?
Candace.
Candace. Shout out to Candace. If you're listening, big bro appreciates you and he's proud of you. That's dope. I got a big sister. We got a great relationship. So it's not my little sis, but I still understand the dynamic of brother-sister relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure my sister's proud of me. So are you staying in the Atlanta area now? Or you went back to Georgia?
So yeah,
Okay.
I live in Georgia. I'm southeast of Atlanta, in the Conyers, Covington area. So I'm basically close enough to Atlanta to get there, but far enough to be able to really focus on, the things that matter rather than being out in the city too much.
Yeah.
So it's
And
like
Atlanta's crazy.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword because sometimes
Less
we definitely
traffic.
want to, exactly, less traffic for sure. Sometimes we want to, be out there, and enjoy ourselves. But we're at a place where it's like if we go out, we want to be there because we have to drive to get there. You know what I mean?
Facts. That makes a lot of sense.
So it kind of helps us stay grounded in a sense, which I'm sure we could talk about that too later. But yeah, it helps us stay grounded.
You said Savannah?
No, so we're in Covington.
Covington.
Conyers
Okay.
area, yep.
Gotcha. Hey, did you say earlier you used to live in Savannah?
No, I lived in Dorville, which was
That's right.
north of
My
Atlanta.
fault.
Yeah,
I don't know why I heard Savannah. I was about to say, that's where Big Boy from.
Oh yeah.
West
for
Savannah,
sure.
GA.
Yep.
But so you lost both your parents. You had to step back at a young age. Did your moms pass when you were at a young age too?
No, so my mother passed in 2020 actually.
Okay.
You know,
Rest in
breast
peace,
cancer.
man.
Yeah, man.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
It's all good, man.
And
But,
you also had to deal with an abusive step pops.
Yep.
And was that when you were younger?
yeah, that was when I was in Atlanta.
Did you ever tell him to run a fade?
It's crazy, man, because you know, we actually got some closure recently, man. Well, I wouldn't call it closure, but at least like forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, basically we finally had a time to talk, you know, about it, and he sat me down and you know, just let me know like, hey man, I wasn't in my right state of mind. You know what I'm saying? You know, he had some things he was going through himself, and like now being an adult, you know, some of the stuff that he went through, you know, I put myself in that shoe, and I don't know how I would have been either. You know what I'm saying? Because his, you know, my sister is his blood daughter.
Okay.
And so he lost his son. You know what I'm saying?
Oof.
So
yeah.
it's like, you know, when
My
you think
mental would
about
have
it,
been crazy too.
Yeah, you know what I mean? When you think about it from that standpoint, it's like, you know, yeah, it sucked. It really did suck. But, you know, everybody's human, and, you know, the best thing to do is like to learn how to forgive. And move forward. And I mean, he's a better person now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm a better person. You know, but I feel like being able to like kind of put that in the past and not hold on to it, it definitely helps the healing process.
Man, that's some of the realest spill in the world, bro. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because it's been a tip that I've been on. It started with my ex-wife. You know, I'm not gonna go into it too much. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't an easy divorce. I didn't really do nothing wrong, but I was villainized. I still haven't said goodbye or been able to talk to my stepson, and it's been, you know, almost a year now. So it's like since we separated, you know, about 8 months since the divorce, but still. And then it's just like I said, I'm not gonna get preachy today. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm normally not that type of guy, but I really felt like God telling me, like, bro, you gotta forgive him, man. And when you forgive somebody that's done you wrong, it helps you heal and get, because you be carrying that baggage without even realizing it, and that stress that comes with it. And you don't gotta be cool with them. You don't gotta justify what they did to you and act like it wasn't a big deal. That's what people get it mixed up. There's like, I can't forgive them because what they did to me was so bad. And it's like, it's more for you than it is for them.
Facts. Get that stress off your
You know what I'm saying? So when I realized that with my ex-wife, then it went down this whole list. And it felt so good just praying and being like, yo, I forgive this person. If I see him, give me the strength to forgive him in person too. Because like there's people out here, especially when I come back to Orlando, that I'm not the same cat I was when you did me dirty. In a good way and a bad way. I've been boxing, I've been lifting weights, I'm a lot bigger now. It's going to be a different outcome.
Right.
But then at the same time, I'm a man of God, I'm more positive. I'll probably just forgive you.
Yeah.
But that's the struggle as men, bro, especially if you've been through a lot and people, bro, my whole life, people have played me, taken advantage of me, robbed me, done me dirty my whole life, bro. And so it's hard, but I feel so much better and free now that I was able to go down this list and just let that go, forgive them.
Yeah.
And now it's like, when I come to Orlando, I'm not looking at the red lights to see if old boy's next to me. And what am I going to do if I run into him and bump heads? Now it's like, you got it.
Exactly.
You got it. I forgive you. It's all good. I got no ill will towards you. The funny part is I recently did that with somebody and they didn't know how to take it. I said, I know you stole from me, bro. I'm not stupid. I know you got me. But guess what? It worked out. I'm not going to get into the details why it worked out, but it worked out. And I forgive you. And instead of being like, wow, that was real, he got ill defensive. And he just didn't. He was so not expecting me to come at him like that. But it definitely diffused the situation. You know what I'm saying? And now, whatever. I'm not going to say it's all love, but it ain't no hate no more.
And it ain't got to be. That's why, man, that's like the perfect segue, because like that's the song that I just dropped.
It always works
that's
like that.
That's like the perfect segue into it, man. I just dropped a song called PMPY, which is like...
That's the next one we're getting into.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's an acronym for Play Me, Play Yourself. And, you know, that's just, you know, my whole take on... Because I've been done dirty too, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know how that feels. I know what that's like. But I feel like when I got to a place where it was like for example, if somebody screws me out of a couple of $100, bro, it's not worth the aftermath. That's the cost that I paid to find out that you wasn't solid. And that's how I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? And once that cashed out, I lost that bread. I move on, and typically karma handles the rest for me.
Lesson learned.
You know what I mean? Lesson learned.
And if people are like that, they're gonna get it back around.
They're gonna get it back, man.
Yeah, it's gonna come back around too.
And it always happens. I'm a huge believer in karma, man. And that's where that song came from. That's crazy.
We're gonna get into that in a little bit, but let's talk about some more of you overcoming some roadblocks before we get into that
For
joint.
sure.
Because I love that song too. So, eventually you had, started growing up, and then you went to college.
Yeah.
But then you had to drop out of college.
Yeah. Man.
What were the reasons behind you dropping out?
I just wasn't prepared, man. I was.
It's a lot. People don't realize there's a lot.
I spent all of high school just playing around and
barely getting
being,
by.
You know what I'm saying? Just doing what I had to do to get to the next grade and enjoying the time and people. Like, I wasn't thinking about school the way I should have been thinking about school. But that's
Facts.
also, coming from a single mother household, I didn't really have the structure. My mom worked like 80 hours a week. She would come home to go to sleep to do it all over again. And so, I had to, basically, raise my sister. And so, even after school, I would go to work myself. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't thinking about, hey, get good grades, go to college, get a good job. I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah.
When,
I think most of us don't, man. I definitely did not.
You know what I mean? So when I first went to college, bro, I was just not ready for what it entailed. And, was getting bad grades, wasn't locked in. You know what I mean? I had online classes, and I just wasn't even organizing my time to the point where 3 weeks would go by, and I'd be like, damn, I didn't even realize I didn't do none of my class. You know what I'm saying? I was just not ready, bro. And so eventually I changed my major a couple times, and then I dropped out.
Yeah, so you drop out, but then you come back and you get your master's.
Yeah.
Can I get the hand clap again for that? We gotta salute that.
Yeah, man.
My man's got his master's degree. There we go. Yeah. So explain what that was like coming back and getting a master's degree. And what was your master's in?
Yeah, so I went back to school. I think I was like 26 when I went back to school. And I finally had kind of gone through the process of just working and grinding and working and grinding. I had that experience of just being like, dang, man, I'm not
tired of playing around.
Yeah, man, I gotta get right. I got a lot of experience, but I'm not really getting any opportunities because I don't have the education to back it. And so, when I went back to school, my mindset was obviously way different. I understood life. I understood bills. I understood priorities. I understood all that, So it was like going to class now, I'm in class with a mission, you know what I'm saying? So it was different. And went back to school, got my BS in healthcare administration. I got an executive master of health administration degree. Currently working in HR at Advent Health.
Nice.
Basically.
We might have to talk.
Yeah.
I got some bills that I need. I don't know if I can pay them. I wasn't aware of this cost that was gonna come upon me after I got out of the hospital. I know a guy. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You should have never told me that. You should have never told. Now I'm gonna be hitting you up, bro. Nah, that's dope, man. I'll say proud of you. I don't really know you like that to say proud of you, but that's very commendable and respectable, man.
Appreciate it, man.
That's super dope, especially after the hurdles and the roadblocks. You could have dropped out and been like, man, I'm just going to work. I feel a lot of people, I feel like it's harder for people to quit something and go back and finish the same thing they quit than to ever quit at all.
Yeah. Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And so it takes a certain type of breed of man and person and woman to go back and finish something they originally quit, but then just to excel, not just get by again and quit and graduate. You got a master's degree, man.
Yeah, I'm working on another one.
See what I'm saying?
Another one, dog. Yeah.
Hey, because it's gonna bring more bag, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting another my master's of HR management.
Nice.
So that's kind of, I'm trying to tie that up by next year, and hopefully after that I'm done with school.
Yeah, man. That's definitely an inspiration, man. If I were you, I would, try to put something like that in the song, man. Motivate the youth to go back and do a different route. That you ain't got to be out here acting crazy. You can get a bag you ain't got to worry about. You could get a great job. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm all about the youth, man. So, and I know if you've been through what you've been through, then you are too, man. So I take it a lot of your sister, the stuff you went through with your parents, dropping out of college, going back. I take a lot of that as your motivation to get it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm also, motivated to, obviously in the future, hopefully, if I'm fortunate to have kids, to be able to every mistake that I've learned from, you know what I'm saying, be able to give them that head start, you know, because I feel like I'm like slowly but surely breaking the chains, you know what I mean, and I feel like I just need to pass that baton, you know what I mean, like to get it going, and so for me that's a big motivator. I mean that's
it's a
huge
beautiful
for me.
thing, man.
Yeah, that's huge.
Well, we're gonna get into the relationship stuff later, but maybe that's on the way, son. Hey, but listen, man, you about to hear one of the realest songs ever released. I don't think I've ever heard this in a song before, but it's definitely some real spill. If you play me, you play yourself.
Yes, sir.
Bruh.
Yeah.
This is Air to the Grind Radio. We're having a dope interview with Quincy Jamal. We about to hear PMPY. We'll be right back.
Yeah. See, a lot of niggas ask me why I don't get even. Not knowing I got God on my side and karma working overtime. Yeah. Know the odds, either way, play with the cards I'm dealt. I ain't worried, dog, if you play me, you play yourself. Extended myself when you were struggling, that's for help. I ain't bothered, dog, if you play me, you play yourself. Burn some petty dollars, we could've been building wealth. Lesson learned, you may think you play me, you play yourself. Some days get the dub and some days you gon' catch it now. Don't be stressing, dog, if they play you, they play themselves. Growing pains, can't let that shit in my brain. Cause my loyalty runs deep, going against the grain. But negativity drains, positivity contagious. New chapter, different characters, I'm flipping the pages. Been increasing my wages, the hating been going down. They recognize the facts, I am the truth and they know it now. Too late, ain't no slowing down, and the price has been going up. Schedule a little tight, I might be late, but I'm showing up. In the meantime, have a cup of Douce with the ice ready. Daylight, but the price heavy. Big bags, keep a nice Chevy. Stay humble, but I'm tight-petted. Main broad, but the swipe steady. Independent and she like webbed. If it's problems, it's a tight levy, we quite ready. Niggas snowfall moving like Teddy. Caught a few L's, how the charge stood. Learned a few lessons and I sit back. Come around, make it all good. Where I come from, it's a small hood. Crabs in the barrel is the mindset. If there's bread involved, then niggas flaw can't help them climb yet. Nah. Know the odds, either way, play with the cards I'm dealt. I ain't worried, dog, if you play me, you play yourself. Extended myself when you were struggling, that's for help. I ain't bothered, dog, if you play me, you play yourself. Burn some petty dollars, we could've been building wealth. Lesson learned, you may think you play me, you play yourself. Some days get the dub and some days you gon' catch it now. Don't be stressing, dog, if they play you, they play themselves.
If you play me, you play yourself. I ain't bothered, dog. If you play me, you play yourself. Lesson learned, you may think you play me, you play yourself. Don't be stressing, dog. If they play you, they play themselves.
You play me, you play yourself.
Yes.
This is Air to the Grind Radio. If you ain't grinding, you ain't shining. If you ain't shining, you'll never be on this show rhyming. But on this side, and it's all glory to God. We just heard I can't quite call it a banger.
Yeah.
Even though it's definitely some real spill. PMPY from Quincy Jamal. If you don't like some of the music you've heard today, then you just don't even need to listen to hip hop, man. Because, bro, my man's got some great quality music, man. Everything is dope. I've never heard anything from you that wasn't top notch, man.
Appreciate that, man, for
Yeah,
sure.
most definitely,
Appreciate
man. So did that song come from a personal spot? Did somebody try to play you and you was like, yo, I'm gonna make a song about it?
It's crazy because I had that beat for a while and I really didn't know what to do with it. And then like a little situation happened and I kind of like came up with the concept. Just like I said earlier, from that feel of the beat, I was like, yeah, that's the feeling I needed.
I think it's perfect. The
Yeah.
beat was perfect for that.
You know what I mean? And so once that situation happened, I kind of just got in my bag with it and ran with it.
Yeah, man. No, it definitely worked out good. Sometimes the concept and lyrics do not match the beat.
Yeah.
And then other times they're perfect. So I feel like Good Days, Crash Course, and especially PMPY, it's like perfect. It was a perfect fit for what you did on those beats, man.
Appreciate it.
Do you ever feel like because of your laid back vibe, sometimes people try to take advantage of you?
Yeah, probably. But you know, it kind of also goes to that point of like, you know, I'm
already seeing through it.
Yeah, I see exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's like once I catch on, it's like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? I see where your head's at, and I just keep it pushing because you know it's no point in me breaking who I am because of how you are. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna be chilling, laid back, but I'm just not gonna deal with you. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And that's like I said before. If it's a money situation, that's the cost I paid to deal with you, and you know what I'm saying? Charge it to the game. Just lesson learned, you know.
You ever seen a Bronx Tale?
Yeah,
that's my favorite movie. Collageno's chasing the dude down, and Sonny's like, "Hey, what are you doing? See, get over here." He's like, "He owes me $20." He's like, "You got out of your life cheap."
Yo, facts.
He got out of your life cheap.
Oh, bro, that's
like,
that's real, bro.
That movie is full of gems.
Because people be willing to risk everything over like a small bag, like not even a bag, like you know what I'm saying, like a couple $100. And don't get me wrong, bro, a couple $100 to some people is a lot. I'm not gonna act like it's not. But it's not
any
worth
amount of money.
You know, exactly. Any money is a lot, but it's not worth. You know what I'm saying? Like potential issues down the road, like
broken friendship.
Bruh,
people
you know
just throw a whole thing that you work together to build away over momentary stupidness. Man.
Facts, big facts.
Yo, but no, I love that approach, man. Like, okay, this is the fee, this is the cost to expose yourself, and I'm just gonna take it like that. I feel like that's very wise of you, bro. A lot of people are not gonna think like that. And they're gonna do anything they can to get that little $100 back.
Hey, shout out to Les, man. He's literally the one that like kind of gave me that perspective, and I live by that now. You know what I mean? So
nice.
Shout out to him on that one.
Now Lester got some gems too in the bag, bro. He will definitely hit you with some wisdom and knowledge as well, man. And that's really dope, man. What's something you had to learn the hard way, first in life, and then when it comes to your music?
So for life, man, I really had to learn to I guess what we was just talking about, just because I always had trust issues.
I kind of felt that.
You know what I'm saying? I've always had trust issues. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I had to learn that, you know what I'm saying, people will show you who they are. And, you know what I'm saying, at that point, believe them. Like, if somebody shows you who they are, believe it off rip. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, don't block your blessings by having too many trust issues. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly,
it's kind of like finding that balance. So that's like been a big life lesson that I feel like I've learned, and I'm still learning. I'm still trying to like figure that out. But you know, like I said, my trust issues stem from a lot of the stuff that we've talked about already. You know what I'm saying?
And it would be 100% natural, man.
You know what I mean? So it's like trying to just find that balance. That's been a big thing for me. And then as far as the music goes, man, it's just been more of a sense of not depending on too many people, like finding the right people to rock with and building. You know what I mean? Because I feel
very important.
I feel like in any aspect of life, when you depend on too many people, it allows for too many opportunities for people to drop the ball.
Yep.
And so like that's something that, you know, even to this day, like, you know what I mean, like I feel like I've gone through different engineers, I've gone through many different producers, and like I mentioned OK Peter earlier, you know what I'm saying, he's somebody that I've locked in with, you know what I mean, because he's shown me that he's solid, he's willing to work, and he's ready to go. He enjoys the music that I create, so let's lock in. But just bouncing around doing too much, it leaves too much space for error.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Definitely, man. And that's very rare these days too, especially in the music. I had to go through so many studios and engineers because it's like you're just gonna push the button. You know what I'm saying? And like it translates. I don't care who you are. You get in the booth, it's not always gonna be the best take the first time. It's not always gonna sound the best it can without some type of constructive criticism or somebody pushing you. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's why me and Lester meshed really well as well, because he was like, bro, you always been solid. So it's like, I have no problem working with you. You know what I mean? And I was like, and I said, likewise, bro. It was mutual. You know what I'm saying? And so that's definitely a good lesson learned right there, and something that is very important to the growth and development as an artist, man.
For sure.
The people you keep around you and the people you work with is very important, especially as rappers, bro.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's very important. You know, the funny part is you don't really get that static and that smoke from, like, if you're like a rock band or a country. It just comes with the territory with hip hop, man. You know, and it's something you got to be prepared for.
Facts. And that's another thing too. You kind of, expressed it a little differently because I said it from the people you work with, but it is also the people you rock with. You know what I'm saying? When you're going to the studio with the entourage and all that kind of stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like that's for show. It's cool. It looks good on IG, but it's like, bro, at least for me, what I've learned, bro, I go with whoever's there to make the record. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, let's go here. Maybe my fiance. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it's like, who is here to do? Does everybody here have a job?
Contribute?
Like,
Are you contributing?
You know what I
not?
mean? Like, because there's no free rides. There's no reason for people to just be chilling. You know what I mean? It's like, we here to work.
Yep. The only time that's acceptable for me is if it's like an OG or somebody that I respect with the music that I know is gonna give me some good feedback. Then you could come and chill.
Yep.
But I'm not gonna say which studio because I don't want to shine any negative light on my brothers or their studio. But a studio I used to record at, they had to make a rule, entourage, because there was a shooting. Somebody got bodied in their parking lot and almost shut everything down for them, man. And it was strictly because mans wanted to bring the entourage. He had a problem with somebody else. They found out they was there. They pulled up and shots fired. So it's, if you could have, listen, man. I tell a lot of my young boys, I look at life as a percentage game. I stopped looking at life as more like what I think things are or could be, and I started looking at life in percentages. If I go do this way with these people, and there's a high percentage of something negative to happen, I'm not doing those things with those people. If I'm doing this with these people or this way, and it's a low percentage of anything negative, that's the way I'm going now. You know what I'm saying? It's no more, and because everything has a percentage to it. Life is numbers. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's really important. Because nowadays, people's hearts done turn so cold, man.
Yeah, man. I see what you're doing, bro.
You see what I'm doing? It's something I like to do.
You
caught
doing,
it right
bro.
away.
That's dope. Yeah, man.
Nah, it's true though, man. People definitely gotten a lot colder recently, man.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you tuning in today. We're about to get into another joint right here from Quincy Jamal. This is Ear to the Grind Radio. I am your host of the most, Delore. We're about to hear So Cold. We'll be right back.
Your man's is on Snap acting out. Only reason I seen it is because I took off my location. Niggas really ain't shit.
Got me wondering who hurt you, how many lies they told. Only wanna give me a part of you, when can I get the whole? Love when I look at you, when you look at me, I see your soul in every part of you. That trust inside that you don't like to show. Girl, why you so cold? Yeah, girl, how you get so cold? Yeah. All this time I invested, all the females I curved. This ain't what you expected. Treat you like you deserve. Every time you be laughing, saying how much I get on your nerves. Can't change the fact you hold back and be so reserved. How we supposed to build something off of that? Offering me what you offer back. Comparing your life on social media, get off of that. Most of that's cap, gotta take a step back for a moment. This is real life. Friends keep telling you can't trust these niggas. What that feel like? Taking you a moment to realize that you got a real one. How you gonna let me get away? Letting all these lonely ass females get in your head, going through a thread when I'm right up in your face, trying to win a race. It's a team sport and I got too many real questions for a trade. I can take that route, but even then at the end of the day, got me wondering who hurt you, how many lies they told. Only wanna give me a part of you, when can I get the whole? Love when I look at you, when you look at me, I see your soul in every part of you. That trust inside that you don't like to show. Girl, why you so cold? Yeah, girl, how you get so cold? Yeah, I told her, look, too many fabricate. Started off slow, then we caught a vibe, now we moving at a faster pace. Tryna get through to you, but all them feelings you pack away. Shawty looked at me, said, I got a question, I said, ask away. She said, so when you ain't with me, you ain't with these other hoes. You ain't getting numbers when you finish up a show. You ain't conversating about the different kind of women that you have in your bed when you chillin' with a bro. Don't you say no, all you niggas do is lie. Why would I ever give you the power just to make me cry? females ain't too different. But if you would look around and listen, you will see what's real, cause I am not the villain. I just see the vision. Losing something good ain't in my cards. I be thinking to myself, goddamn you scar. Facts. Got me wondering who hurt you, how many lies they told. Only wanna give me a part of you, when can I get the whole? Love when I look at you, when you look at me, I see your soul in every part of you. That trust inside that you don't like to show. Girl, why you so cold? Yeah, girl, how you get so cold? Yeah. Got me wondering who hurt you, how many lies they told. Only wanna give me a part of you, when can I get the whole? Girl, how you get so cold?
Yurt, what's good, everybody? How you doing? Appreciate you staying along on this ride with Quincy Jamal.
Yes,
this is Air to the Grind Radio. He must know my ex-wife. He wrote a song about it and didn't even know it. Girl, how'd you get so calm? Nah. Hey, listen, I wanna run it back a little bit. That song is unreleased.
Yeah.
Ain't even out there yet. Exclusive. You just heard it first here on Air to the Grind Radio, but that joint is dropping the 22nd of this month.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into where you can find this man on social media and all that stuff at the end of the show, so stay tuned. Make sure you're on the lookout for So Cold. That's a vibe.
Yeah.
I think it could speak to a lot of people, could relate to that one.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, you must know the ex-wife. No, let me stop.
Yeah, no, that one, man, I actually really enjoyed making that record, and I'm tripping. This is actually the second joint from OK Peter. Man, I really like working with him, man.
It fits your voice and style. My fault, cut you off.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
you good.
It fits your voice and style perfectly, man.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
beats from him.
For sure. No,
I would definitely keep working with him.
Oh yeah. But yeah, man, working on that song was super dope. Just like I said, one, like I've been really tapping into my singing bag. You know what I mean? I've been tapping into that, and two, just being able to write that song. Like I said, I'm a storytelling kind of writer, and being able to write that song and really put you in the seat of like that situation, because I feel like a lot of people can relate, but also if you can't relate, I'm trying to write it in a way that you understand.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Let me give you the game if you don't know it already.
You know what I'm
man.
saying? So yeah, it's super dope.
I like that a lot, man. Nah, it's definitely a solid track right there, man. Definitely a vibe. Do you feel responsibility as a man to show that not all men are the same? It's okay if you don't.
I was about to say, I don't know if it's a responsibility, but I do feel like
right,
I feel like we get a real like bad stigma nowadays. I guess you could say. Yeah, I was about to say that's the one right there. But nah, we get a bad stigma, man. Like it's just, it's real. It's different now, man. It's funny on the way here, man. My fiance was singing "Cater to You." I guess it just came to her head. I was like, "Yo, that song would flop now," because it's just not the way, you know what I'm saying, a lot of women are thinking anymore.
Was it the Neo joint?
No, the "Cater to You" joint was Destiny's Child.
I'm bugging.
It's funny though, because she mentioned Miss Independent after that, and
okay,
I was like,
that's where my mind went. My bad. the Neo joint, Miss Independent. But nah, you're right, and it's funny how you go from all my single ladies to Cater to You.
Yeah,
or Cater to You to single ladies.
And it's just a different
yeah,
stigma. And so like I feel like when writing that song, it's like, yo man, like, what I'm saying, what made you so cold? Like what made you be this way, where it's like you feel like you can't trust nobody, even the people that's trying to do good by you. And
I feel a lot of us catch that wrath, man, undeservingly, but at the same time, not all men, but there's a reason that women are like that these days, bro. It's not for no reason.
Facts. It's a never-ending cycle, man. It's a never-ending cycle.
You gotta understand that. But I do feel responsibility to go out of my way to prove myself, even when I don't have to, especially to the woman I'm talking to nowadays. Because it's like she actually hit me with a bar earlier. It was really dope. It's like when you had the trash, you realize the treasure. And if I'd ever had the trash, I wouldn't realize the treasure.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying? That's so facts. It's something that like you can't let get to you, but at the same time, like it's just hard, man. I've been on the other end where it's like you're taking all this stuff out of previous baggage on me when I had nothing to do with nothing. What he did to you was really messed up, and I could understand you are the way you are, but it's like, yo, it's not me.
Yeah. And it's like we can't get any further if your guard is gonna always be up. You know what I mean? It's like this won't grow. You know what I mean? So it's like a double-edged sword, man. It's just, you know, you let the guard down, you have the chance of getting hurt. But if you keep the guard up, we're not gonna grow. You know what I mean? So,
and I feel like I heard this quote too that I thought was really dope on the subject, where it was like, if you don't heal, you're gonna bleed on somebody who didn't cut you.
Ooh, I like that.
You know what I'm saying? I almost want to put that on an official Ear to the Grind t-shirt.
I like that.
Send that to my ex-wife too. But it's true, man. But you feel like after everything you've been through, I know there was a possibility. Do you feel like your heart may have grown a little cold over things?
Yeah, for sure.
And
for sure,
what keeps you from not letting it fully happen? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it would be easy for you to have a real cold heart after all that you've been through.
Yeah, it's definitely that's definitely a tough one, man. Because I can say that my guard is up. You know what I'm saying? But like I work day to day. You know what I'm saying, to try to not be that way. You know what I'm saying? But I could tell, you know, I'd be lying if I didn't say that, you know, things have happened to me that, you know, changed me as a person naturally. You know what I'm saying? That made me a little bit more or less vulnerable is what I'm trying to say. Like, where I'm not allowing you in like that. But, you know, I also understand that, like I said before, you know, through vulnerability is where the sweet stuff is. That's where the growth is. That's where the true passion, and not just in a relationship with a partner, you know what I'm saying? That's where the good friendships are. You know what I'm saying? That's where that, you know, all of that is in the vulnerability. So it's like if you can't have that, you know what I'm saying, you're not gonna it's hard to be happy without that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's like we probably remember that. Oh, I thought an alarm was going off or something. We always had like that one dude in school that was like the super tough gangster guy that nobody messed with, but he was probably the most loneliest dude in school.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, that's definitely wisdom in that, you know. And at the end of the day, man, I really stopped it because like I've been through that so much. Where it's like my guard was up, I met somebody nice, and it didn't work because I was so focused on the past hurt, and I was like, you're not gonna do it. It's never gonna happen to me again. And I was like, I don't need females, like, you know, I'm gonna just hook up and I don't need long, you know. And then I look back like, man, I probably missed out on some really good relationships. And then the flip side, I finally let the guard down, be vulnerable, and it got taken advantage of, and it didn't work out. But I said all that to say this is like where I'm at nowadays, bro, is like, yo, what's meant to be is gonna stay and be around, and what's not meant to be is finna leave. And I'm not going to sit here and get crazy thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to love God and live my life the way I'm supposed to do. And the things that are meant to be will fall into place. And you can't make them. You can't make it happen.
Facts.
You know, so you could definitely share that wisdom from your experiences and hear that. I hear that in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I've been through a lot, but I'm not going to let that break me or get me down and make me a certain way.
Yeah.
And I definitely respect that about you. Do you think that some of that contributed to your laid back style?
Dang, that's a good question.
Right?
I think
not trying so hard is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I think like I just over time, man, naturally just became way more nonchalant about certain things. Where it's like I'm more free spirited. I'm more like
let the hair grow out.
Yeah, like for real, bro. Like let the hair grow out, man. Just you know what I'm saying, and just I don't know, just more carefree. You know what I mean? Like don't get me wrong, man. I'm still, you know, things still bother me. Things still get under my skin.
Of course.
But I think I'm just a little bit more like free spirited about it, where it's like, you know, I may have like a little meltdown or whatever, but then once I get through that, I'm like, you know what, bro, it's not even that deep.
Yeah,
you
man.
know what I mean? It's not that deep.
I'm a big advocate for the phrase, and if you know me, you've heard me say this a million times, but life is what you make it, man. What you make it. And a lot of people hear that phrase and they think, I could wish things into existence. Like, that's not what the phrase means. The phrase means how you handle what life throws at you is up to you. How you respond is up to you, man. You could let it get to you, or you could keep it moving.
Facts.
And bro, life is so much better when you do that,
Yep.
life is so much better when you're like, you know what? These people crazy. You bugging. I'm not bugging. You bugging. But guess what? I'm going to just keep it moving.
Keep it moving, yep.
This really sucks. This happened to me. But guess what? I'm going to just keep it moving.
Facts.
You know, so
Big facts.
that's really dope, man. But dealing with the females that's so cold, dealing with such a so cold life, I feel like that's what eventually brought you to your Miss Independent. You
know
feel
what
me?
I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and go right into it, and then we'll get into the relationship side of Quincy Jamal.
Yeah.
Stick around. Listen, I'm not gonna forget to say it again. This is an unreleased joint that ain't even out yet, an exclusive. You're hearing it first here on Ear to the Grind Radio.
Yes, sir.
This joint is gonna drop in October 27th. Be on the lookout. This is Miss Independent, but the Quincy Jamal version. This is Ear to the Grind Radio. We'll be right back.
Look, one time for them girls working overtime, 2 times for them girls back in school, 3 times for the girls with their own bag, 4 times for the girls making rules. Something different about a woman with their own mind, that's something that you already knew. You done already won when it's all said and done, ain't none of them comparing to you.
What's good, everybody? How you doing? It's your boy Delore. This is Ear to the Grind Radio. If you ain't grinding, you ain't shining. And if you ain't shining, you won't be on the show rhyming. But on the sign is all glory to God. Yo, my man's is real smart and strategic. We're going to give you some unreleased music that you ain't never heard before, but you ain't going to get the real version. You're going to have to find out where this man does his stuff. You're going to have to find out his social media and be on the look for the full version of Miss Independent dropping 10/27.
Stay tuned.
Why don't you go ahead and tell them real quick, just in case, where they can find you, your social media handles and all that before we forget, before we get to the end, because they might be already writing it down, wanting to look for these joints, man.
Yeah, man. So IG, well, I guess you can't say Twitter no more. It's X.
Just mad weird.
Everything, facts. Everything is at I am Quincy Jamal. IAM Quincy Jamal. Same tag for everything. Facebook, YouTube. You can catch me on all that, man. TikTok, everything.
Yep, make sure you give this man a follow. Make sure you give the Ear to the Grind page a follow. Come on, son, you killing me. I got like 100 followers. You could give me one. Nah, I'm just saying. But nah, that's dope, man. So my man's about to get married.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shout out to the fiance Robin over there.
Over on
Graced us with her presence. We appreciate you being here. So you guys got a date already? What's going on?
Yeah, August 31st next year.
August
man.
31st in a year.
Yeah, about a year.
That's dope. My
Yes,
birthday's
sir.
in August.
Okay, Leo.
We could make, yeah, man.
Okay.
You too?
Nah, Cancer.
Oh, okay. Close.
Cancer gang. See, that's why I knew.
Oh. My man's about to get married.
Yeah, man.
Was that the main thing that attracted you to Miss Robin over there? Was she Miss Independent?
Yeah, man.
It's okay if she's not.
It's funny because it's okay if she's not. So, hey, look, she got her moments where she can be very dependent, but overall, nah, she's super independent, man. I mean,
Nice.
especially we have like an age gap, and so she's younger than me, but when it comes to just her knowledge and wisdom, man, she just came from a different background. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just comes from a very, very wise family, and so she
Probably
learned a lot.
It's meant to be, man.
Yeah, man. She learned a lot, and you know, while I have a lot of life experience that taught me, she just kind of just knew the game coming out the gate. So that's always super dope, man.
You know, that's actually a really dope and dangerous mix. Not dangerous in a bad way. Dangerous for the game. Y'all about to kill the game. Say, baby, you got the wisdom, life wisdom in the street, in the book. I got the street smarts and the street experience, so to speak.
Yeah,
you about to kill the game. Nah, that's what's up, man. Was Miss Independent inspired by Robin? And it's okay if not.
No, like I mean, from a standpoint, yeah. I mean, I think when I wrote the song, it was just more of a I don't know. It was like the beat just kind of took me to like
the beat said Miss Independent.
Yeah, it just took me to like that. Like I kept visualizing. Remember the movie like Love Don't Cost a Thing with Nick Cannon and Christina Milian? Like that whole vibe. You know what I'm saying? I was just kind of picturing that, and you know the Miss Independent, just that vibe just really came to me. And you know, obviously, you know, she definitely inspired, you know, some of those lyrics, you know what I mean? But
there you go.
Just overall, I felt like the beat really took me to a place of like just giving that shout out, you know what I'm saying? Like to those women. It's like almost like the backside of So Cold, where it's like, you know, So like Cold, that. you're, you know, expressing like, dang man, like why are you so shut off? Why you not giving me that part of you, you know what I'm saying, that I'm trying to get to? But then when it's like Miss Independent, it's more so just kind of like giving you your props for being, you know what I'm saying, like a real independent woman. Like you don't need me, but you want me type deal.
And that's real spill, bro. And that's something worth congratulating. Yeah, like you said, the ones going back to school, the ones out here getting it on their own. That's very important because I feel like a lot of women too came up like your mom's. She had to grind. She had to get it by herself too. So
facts.
That's really dope. And this is just an idea. You don't have to take it, but you just hit me. I just got a really dope idea. We were at least So Cold and Miss Independent together. You could also release some separate and even separate videos or whatnot, but it'd be really dope if you had like a 2-part video.
Yo, that's so crazy you say that, because like I was thinking about, because we're shooting the So Cold video this upcoming, not this weekend, but next weekend. Like, well, no, this weekend. It's Saturday, so
nice.
Next week. We're shooting that video, and I was really kind of getting that idea too, because it's a follow-up song to So Cold, to kind of have it like a continuation in a sense. Like if you catch it, you catch it, but if you don't, it's still a standalone video. And I figured that would be super, super dope, man.
And you could do both, but like if it was my music, I definitely would make that like kind of a package deal. If it was on an album, I would definitely have them right after each other.
Oh yeah,
you know, because it's like you're not disrespecting or putting down the cold women, which I commend you for. Because I know a lot of brothers that would do that type of song and be like, yo, like we're gonna get real nasty with it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But then still to have that flip of the coin, you know what I'm saying? Like these women out here don't trust anybody, and like she said in the beginning, all men ain't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm paraphrasing, of course, for respect, out of respect. But, and then Miss Independent, where it's like, yo, even though I see this and I've experienced this, I can still congratulate the ones that is different.
Facts.
So that would just be really dope. It just kind of hit me.
No, I like,
you know what I'm saying?
It's so crazy because I was thinking about that too. And now that you've said it, I think I really might. I'm gonna have to talk to the team, and we're gonna have to set something up.
Yeah, because I could see like the old school videos in a sense where it's like and it fades down, and then the next one comes in, and it's like a flip, the flip side. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's not really done that much anymore.
Facts.
You only get one side of the story on a lot of songs these days. Or they barely even got stories and stuff.
That's why I really liked. I don't know. People really kind of downplayed that Nelly sweatsuit project he had. I always thought that was creative as heck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just the way he did it. Like he had the sweat side and the suit side, and like he captured that vibe on both. Like it was really dope. Like, but yeah, kind of going to your point, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And so, where did you guys meet?
So we actually met. No, you're fine. We met. Back in fall 2019. So while I was in school, I pledged 2 fraternities. So I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and I'm also a brother of Alpha Kappa Psi Professional Business Fraternity.
You do the stomp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You might have to get a video.
And so actually we were pledging Alpha Kappa Psi Professional Business Fraternity together. And you know, we actually like literally pledged. We sat right next to each other, hey, she helped me get through. I ain't gonna even flex with you. You know what I'm saying? She helped me out. Hey. And, you know, through that process, we just got closer. We became really good friends. And then we just kind of took that to the next level. Yeah.
That's another lost thing these days that I'm definitely trying to do in my relationships from now on. Can't we just be friends first, man?
You know what I'm saying?
Like, why is that so hard? And I feel like relationships would last and be so much more stronger. The bond would be so much stronger if you're a friend first. Because if you just jump right into the relationship joint and then ish hits the fan, it's like, psh. But if it's your friend and you go through a hard time, or it was your friend first, it's like there's a different type of love and bond there, man. So I respect that. I'm happy that you said that. Yeah, I already know your marriage is going to be great and successful, and may God bless it for many years. You know what I'm saying? So that's really dope. I already kind of know. Instead of asking you this question, I feel like I should just make it a phrase, and then you could agree with me or not. But I know you're looking forward to providing your wife and future kids, when you said already expressed that you would like to have kids of your own, to that life that you know that you didn't, the life that you didn't have in a sense, but it's more like having that life with a wife and kids, where it's like you didn't have to experience what I experienced.
Facts, bro.
It's gonna be a beautiful thing.
Be a beautiful thing, man. And it's I feel like it's also gonna be interesting, just from a standpoint of, like I said, we just come from two totally different backgrounds, where it's like, you know, even though like my parents are gone, I still learned so much from her parents. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
dope.
Like, that's super dope, man, because it's like
they like you.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't mention it. You know, I said the fraternities that I'm in, but you know, she's also a member of Zeta Phi Beta sorority, which is like basically we're constitutionally bound. It's like the sister sorority of my fraternity.
Okay,
and
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah, her parents are members as well. So her dad's a Sigma. And her
See,
mom is
you already in like Flynn, my boy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I had a cheat code, bro. I got in pretty slick with that.
That's dope. This woman I'm dating now is an awesome woman. If you're listening, what's up, girl? I'll see you in a little bit. But her dad likes ride Harleys.
Oh, that's dope.
And so when I was like, yo, I got a Harley, you want to go for a ride on the bike? And she said, yeah. I was like, bet. Because a lot of them don't. They scared, either think I'm crazy or they scared of bikes. She's like, no, my dad and my brother ride Harleys. I was like, It's almost like being in the same fraternity.
Yeah.
Harley Davidson riders. It's almost the same. But nah, that's really dope, man. And honestly, from what I've experienced in my life, all of my boys that grew up without their pops or grew up with crazy home situations when they were kids made the best fathers, the best husbands.
No, that's real.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you're going to be the same way. Even though we just met, we're still getting to know each other. I could already tell that you're going to make a really dope husband and father, man, because of your past experiences. Like, everything happens for a reason, man. At the time, you're like, yo, why? Why me? Why did this happen? This is crazy. But I really feel like God looks at the future and is like, yo, I'm just preparing you for that future. You know what I'm saying? So that's really dope, man. And just, if I could give you guys some advice that I learned through my divorce, which I'm sure other people have already given you, and you probably heard it all before too, but it's just real coming from my point of view, is like, communication is very important. But as men, especially guys like myself, we want to be real like stern and harsh. It's like learning to be graceful with your woman is very important. You can have the arguments and the disagreements, but the moment you stop being graceful with her, then you're gonna hurt her, and then she's probably gonna not hear a word you said after that. You know what I'm saying? But learning to be graceful with your woman is very important. And then communicating from the woman's side, like if you're mad about something, tell them what you're mad about. You know, the worst thing you could do as an adult, as older men, is that silent treatment, man. You know, that's really immature. My ex-wife was a pro at it, and it's like, if I don't know what I did, how could I step it up or fix it or apologize for it? You know, so those things are something that I've learned that are very important in relationships. And then also give and take. You know, there's times I don't want to do nothing. I want to sit here and watch this football game. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna be in a marriage, it's a partnership too, where it's like your wants and needs gotta come before mine most of the time. You know what I'm saying? And then vice versa. And then the dope part is when you both have that mindset, and it becomes where it's not even a thing no more. Like, nah, it's okay, babe. Go ahead and watch that game. I know you got me afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So that I just met you guys, you know what I'm saying, but you're a really dope couple. I like you guys a lot already.
Appreciate it.
And so if I could just pass on some of the knowledge I learned from my divorce, because I never want to go through that again.
Yeah.
The next one I put a ring on, you stuck with me, girl.
Hey, look, hey,
For
till
life.
death do us part, you hear me?
For life. You ain't going nowhere. Nah, let me stop. But nah, that's dope, man. And I could tell both of us have come a long way in our lives, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm doing
Big
it
facts,
again.
man. You say you do it?
I'm doing it again. You see where I'm going with this?
I see what you're doing, bro.
Hey. So we're going to play the last song from Quincy Jamal called Came a Long Way Again.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate you for this, bro. You were hearing it first. It's starting to become synonymous with Ear to the Grind Radio. Every episode I've done so far, the guests have blessed me and the listeners with music that's not out there yet, and you get to hear it first here on the show. This is another one dropping November 17th. So he already gave you the plugs for the handles and where to find the music. Be on the lookout because this one is really dope as well. You haven't heard no music that wasn't dope today. Don't cap. This one's called Come a Long Way, dropping 11/17 from Quincy Jamal. We'll be right back.
I done came a long way, watched them go astray. Easy to get lost along the way. I done came a long way, now I'm here to stay. These are days I ask for when I pray. I done came a long way. Back when I was outside, still ain't worried what they gon' say. I done came a long way, so many delays. Told myself I'll make it one day. I done came a long way.
Ex thought I wouldn't be shit. Grew them ways to lock. She see them posts, she still get seasick. Still remember days when I would fantasize to be rich. Still ain't there, but nowadays I'm comfy in a G6. Always had ambition, try to let it on the plan. Had to change my course of action when I realized who I am. I'm the man. Seen a lot of stands, thin line between love and hate. Never had a chance. Mama told me to be awesome. Give 100 to you laying in a coffin. Never forget where you came from when you floss. I'm just thankful she ain't get that damn abortion. Made a fortune.
I done came a long way, watch them go astray. Easy to get lost along the way. I done came a long way, now I'm here to stay. These are days I ask for when I pray. I done came a long way. Back when I was outside, still ain't worried what they gon' say. I done came a long way, so many delays. Told myself I'll make it one day. I done came a long way.
Laying in a coffin. Never forget where you came from when you floss.
I done came a long way,
I'm just thankful she ain't get that damn abortion. Made a fortune.
I done came a long way.
What's good, everybody? How you doing? We appreciate you sticking along on this ride with Quincy Jamal. We know it's been a long show, but you can't tell me you haven't been entertained, man. We've hit life, we've hit relationships, we've hit school, we've hit knowledge, we dropped gems, we dropped bangers, we dropped vibes.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't seem like 2 hours, don't cap.
Nah, it definitely flew by.
But hey, he said you wasn't with me shooting in the Worth. Come a long way. Nah,
Yeah,
we just heard Come a Long Way from Quincy Jamal. Really dope song. And that was mixed and mastered by Lester Sanchez.
Yeah, man, he's getting in his little bag, man. He's been mixing,
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, literally, bro. Literally, man. I appreciate
like that.
that,
Salute.
man, for sure.
Salute Lester. And he mixed and mastered your voice, so it sounded like him.
Yeah,
That's
you
a
see
little
how
messed
he
up.
tried to
though.
slick, right? He really slick. He tried to be slick with that one, but it sounds good. I'll give it to him.
It sounds real good. I thought it was him at first, but it does sound really good, man. Shout out to Lester, man. You know you always welcome on this show, man. You know it's all love, Brody. But yeah, man, like again, what I say, life is what you make it. But I'll drop this gem on you, man. Something that caught my attention one night. I couldn't sleep and I was watching late night TV, and it was like an infomercial when they still did infomercials. But it spoke to me, and it's something I always remembered and took down that I'll give to you now. But it was like the keys to success, and it was confidence, focus, and preparation. And I thought that was really, really dope, man. Like, you can't go wrong if you're confident in what you're doing, if you're focused on what you're doing, and if you prepare for what's about to come.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, those have definitely been the 3 keys to success. And I do wish you and your music much success in the future, man. You got what it takes. gotta just keep grinding, man.
Yeah.
Life is a grind, but this music thing is
It's
this
different.
independent artist thing is a grind.
For sure, man.
But let me ask you this, man. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you make it in the game, and then you have the opportunity to have a protege to follow in your footsteps in the music. And let's say he was sitting right across from us right now. What's something you would tell him? What's some gems you would drop on him that maybe some of our younger audience that are artists that are listening that could take home with them and benefit them in their music career?
Man, I think one of the big things for me is to don't I feel like, and you could probably empathize with it, as an independent artist, especially coming up, your first natural instinct is to show your friends and be like, yo, what you think? That's your first natural instinct, right? Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Because your friends will kill your momentum faster than anybody, you know what I mean? And you don't realize
Or
it.
gas you.
Or gas you. Or lie to you.
Which
you know
is
what I'm
just
saying?
as detrimental.
Exactly. I feel like, don't show your friends. Let them hear the final product. You know what I'm saying? Get that circle. You know what I mean? I think we mentioned it earlier. Get that creative circle. Those people that understand the creative process. Those people that understand, hey, yo, this is a rough draft. I still got to get it mixed and mastered. I just need your thoughts on and criticisms on like where it's at. Those people are the people that you show your music to.
The rough drafts.
The rough drafts, and you keep at it, because what may not be for your, like, for example, bro, my music, a lot of my closest friends, they'll tell me, like, they like a song here and there, but my biggest fans are in Brazil. You know what I'm saying?
You said that in the song.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
They
so,
feeling
like,
me in Argentina.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, those are the people that are my music is resonating with. And if I was focused on what my friends thought, I wouldn't have that audience, because
you would never reach Brazil.
You get what I'm saying? So it's just, I think that for me is huge. Like, just focus on the craft, gain or build your circle of creatives, because I feel like anybody with somewhat of a creative mindset will understand the creative grind and allow them to be your backbone. When it comes to friends, they're friends. Let them be your friends. If they ask for the music or anything, art, whatever, photography, whatever that you got going on, if they ask for it, cool, but don't ask your friends.
Yeah, man, because also, especially if they're not artists, they could be like, yeah, this or that, and it could completely derail the song and make it worse.
Yeah.
It rarely makes it better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, if it's an OG that used to do big things in music that you respect, maybe that's the advice you should listen to. If it was an A&R, somebody respected in the artist community, then maybe there's some of those. And like, I've heard Biggie say it too in an interview one time. It's like, you shouldn't always listen to everybody, and you shouldn't always, what I'm saying? Like, my mom and dad are real old school, and they have this saying called eat the meat and spit out the bones. So it's like, you don't have to take everything that's presented to you for fact or truth or to run with it. You can take out bits and pieces of it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But that's really dope, man. What's a message that you would hope to pass on to your fans or your listeners or the youth that might be listening, or like your fans in Brazil? Like, what's a message that you could say sincerely is from Quincy Jamal? I want you to know this.
Man, I think, like, for me, a big thing that I portray a lot in my music is just, always push through. I feel like everybody has their battles, their internal things going on, their stresses, their life. What I'm saying? Like, push through, because I feel like there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Your tunnel may be longer than mine.
Facts.
My tunnel may be longer than yours, but as long as you are sticking to the plan and not deviating from the mission and the goals, it'll be worth it. And I feel like that for me is something that it took a long time to learn. And once I did learn it, life just really changed, man. And it changed a lot, because it was like I said, earlier today I was having a conversation, and I was feeling so stagnant. I felt like I was running in place, but then I went back and listened to a song from like 2018, 2019, and I'm like, man, like, I've come so far, and like that's why like this came a long way joint, man. It's like you forget how far you've come, you know what I mean? So just keep pushing.
Man, that's great advice. Perseverance is It's a very valuable thing in life, man. Again, what don't break a man, make a man. You know what I'm saying? And if you have that attitude, it'll make you. If you don't have that attitude, it's gonna break you.
Facts.
You know, so perseverance is very important. So what's next for Quincy Jamal, man? You got some upcoming shows, some upcoming projects. What's in the future for QJ?
Yeah,
That's
man.
my new nickname for you, by the way.
Yeah, right now, man, I'm just really focused on just dropping. I think I've had the most success I've ever had in my music career by just dropping singles and following
That's
through on
definitely
singles.
the wave these days.
I have 3 projects out that not many people have heard. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, people are hearing now as they come to my catalog. But, you know, I'm learning that, like, I'm just going to keep rolling these singles out and keep attracting new audiences. And once I get to a certain point where I feel like people are demanding an album, then I'll give them an album.
Yeah, because these days nobody has an attention span anymore.
Exactly.
You know how many times I dropped a video and I hit one of my close friends and my boy like, yo, you seen the video? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, what'd you think? And like, oh, there's one part. And I'm like, did you actually watch the video?
Exactly.
And then it comes out, oh, you know, I saw the promo vid you dropped on Instagram. I'm like, that's not the same. And I don't get nothing from that.
Exactly.
Hit my YouTube page, bro.
Yep.
Why? It's 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, son. You don't got 3 minutes out your day. You know what I mean? But nah, that's very smart to do the single route. And then once you have that core audience that's gonna really support you in a big way, then the albums come into play. My man's, no disrespect to my man, he just dropped an album that was like 18 songs. Like, we still in the 90s. I'm like, bruh,
It's not.
all of these songs are dope, but ain't nobody gonna listen
listening.
to all of those joints, man.
Facts.
And you got like 3 years worth of singles if you just broke that down.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
And that's, like I said, that's what's been working, man. And then I've also, I'm slowly but surely tapping into, because like I said, man, I'm into storytelling with my music. I've tapped into the poetry community in Atlanta.
Nice.
So like I've been trying to I've been trying to like kind of just get my feet wet with that, which is not really get my feet wet because I started writing poetry at a young age. But it's like being able to like deliver some of these songs in a way that it's, you know, like how like Kanye used to do. You know what I'm saying, with the Def Jam thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I've been doing like the Reminisce joint. We didn't play that today, but that's one of my songs. It's called Reminisce. I performed that a couple times just in a poetry like setting, and that's been very receptive. So yeah, man, I'm just kind of getting in that bag to kind of capture that more intimate audience because I feel like that's kind of the audience that enjoys my style of music.
yeah, and it gives people a chance to absorb the lyrics.
Exactly.
And catch the lyrics. A lot of times with the songs, it comes at you real quick. The beat could distract you from the meanings and stuff, but when you're doing it a cappella in a poetry format, I think it gives people more of an easier way to catch what you're saying and relate to the music.
Exactly.
That's really dope. Any upcoming shows or anything like that on the horizon?
No big shows right now. I am really, 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 really trying to plan a trip to Brazil, man. I really
Let me come with you.
Yo, man, I'm trying, man. It's just so many things going on that I would love to do that next year, but next
crazy.
year is just kind of packed. So we'll see. But hopefully, if God willing, I want to go out to Brazil, plan like a 3 or 4 show tour out there. And, you know, I've been collecting emails like crazy and getting people to sign up for my newsletters. And like I said, man, Brazil is giving me hella love, and I really want to give it back, man. So
That's super dope. And this just hit me too, man. You know how I really feel like things come together for a reason. My niece is getting married to a Brazilian guy, and they're actually in Brazil right now. And he's from there. He grew up there, but now they live in the States, of course. Let's talk.
yeah.
And maybe he's not a hip hop guy by any means. He's actually like a financial Wall Street kind of guy. But he knows people out there.
Yeah.
Maybe we could set something up and really make that happen. So
yeah.
let's talk about that.
sure.
Hold me to it. My life is crazy and busy too. So,
Yeah.
but we might have a connection there.
Yeah, hey, bro,
That
let's
would
make
be
it
much
happen,
needed.
man.
Yeah, so remind me about that. We'll talk about it. And I'm the type of guy where if it's a no, I'm gonna tell you no. If it's concrete, then I'll say yes.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, so I know most people could appreciate that. But listen, we got 5 minutes left. This ended on one of my favorite questions to ask my guests. What's a dream collab? Let's say money wasn't a thing. You had the ill connections. What's a dream collab for Quincy Jamal, producer and feature artist?
Ooh,
Anybody,
feature.
dead or alive?
Can I get 2 features?
Okay.
All right, let's get 2 features. All right. So, I would say as far as the featured artist, well, first off, producer and feature artist, J. Cole.
Yep.
And then a second feature artist. Not many people know about him, and I'm gonna probably clip this and tag him.
Got to.
Because I don't want to say not many people know about him, but he should be way more famous. Syari the Kid.
He's the second person to mention him lately.
He's a super dope artist. He's actually based out of Atlanta. He sings, he raps, and he
got bars too.
He got bars, and he pumps music out very efficiently. I really respect his grind. He was signed to Cash Money for a little while. That didn't work out, so he's back independent. But I would really, Syari, if you watching, man, I would really like to work on a record with you. That would be super, super dope.
Hey, make that happen,
For
man.
sure, man.
We're speaking into existence right here on Air to the Grind. So just me being me, just being silly, hypothetically speaking, I could see a really dope producer feature collab for you.
Okay.
See what you think. Manny Fresh on the production.
Okay.
With Kendrick on the feature.
That actually sounds super dope.
Wouldn't that be fire?
Super dope.
Quincy Jamal and Kendrick on a Manny Fresh track.
Yeah, no, I could rock with that for sure.
That would be fire. That would be fire. But listen, man, we appreciate each and every single one of you that tune in each month to Ear to the Grind Radio.
Yeah.
I would say I hope you did, but I know you had a great time today with this brother next to me, man. Really dope interview, really dope music. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With my antics, LV's engineering. Shout out to my boss, LV. Couldn't do this without you. Shout out to Indie Jams Radio. Couldn't do this without you. Shout out to Robin. Couldn't do this without you. And the listeners, man, we really appreciate you, man. This is Ear to the Grind Radio. If you ain't grinding, you will never be shining. And if you ain't shining, you will not be on this show rhyming, but on this side. And it's all glory to God. We appreciate you. We'll see you next month, man. Tap in.
Yes, sir.
We just never tried. Thought I'm being honest, can't say that I never lied. Like I had two faces, like dude in Vanilla Sky. Never two-faced, most say hell of a guy. If they only really knew what's inside. Judgment, jealousy mixed with hella pride. Back to being honest, that's something that I don't